Like let's write reduce, like do channel Bob Ross doing reduce. So let's imagine that we have all our fuels here. So like our fuels are a collection of little pieces of ingredients that we want to boil down into a sauce. Let's see. So I don't even know what advent of code is. So I guess we're gonna take a look at that first. So help. That was not very. Day 1. All right. Let's see. Santa has become let me pull this up. Maybe so people can see. All right. So let's read this together. Advent of code. Santa has become stranded on the edge of the solar system while delivering presents to other planets. Ooh. To accurately calculate his position in space, safely align his warp drive, and return to Earth in time to save Christmas, he needs you to bring him measurements from 50 stars. Oh my God, I'm nervous. Jesus, I'm nervous already. Feels like we're. Let's see here. Feels like a job interview now. Also, like King Nero says, in short, Advent of Code is a bunch of daily programming puzzles in varying difficulty. Okay, that's really, really interesting. Oh, Advent of Code, as in like, Advent calendar. Oh, that's awesome. Should be, I should be joining in on this. I guess I'm a little bit too late. Shit. I'm blaming that I've been feeling off in the last few weeks. And yeah, Galikis left side of window is cut off. Yeah, I fixed that. Thank you. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. I'll just keep dropping my pen. I'm like a very OCD person with pens. The elves quickly load you into a spacecraft and prepare to launch. At the first go, no-go poll, every elf is go until the fuel counter upper. Oh my God, this is it's so cool. It's specs written in a so obscure way. They haven't determined the amount of fuel required yet. Fuel required to launch given a module is based on its mass. Specifically, to find the fuel required for a module, take its mass, divide by 3, round down, and subtract 2. Okay. For example, for a mass of 12, divide by 3 and round down to get 4, then subtract to get 2. Fuel required to launch a given module is based on its mass. Specifically, to find the fuel required for a module, take its mass, divide by... Okay, so this is just a function to take a given mass of a module, and then we do some arbitrary math of that, dividing by 3 and subtracting 2, and that gives us the amount of fuel required. So if we have a mass by 12, we divide by 3, round down to get 4, then subtract 2 to get 2. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so as underscore func points out, for example equals unit tests. Okay, cool. You know, this is pretty cool. The fuel counter upper needs to know the total fuel requirement. To find it, individually calculate the fuel needed for the mass of each model, your puzzle input, and then add together all the fuel values. What are the sum of the fuel requirements for all your modules on your spacecraft? To play, please identify yourself via one of these services. Yeah. Are we authorizing Topaz? Okay, to begin, get your puzzle input. Oh, so I'm getting like a unique set of inputs. Oh man, that makes sense. That makes sense. Galiki's opinion on Python. Oh, Python is a very nice language. I had good experiences with Python. It's cool because it's pretty opinionated. I'm gonna just dump this thing here. Advent of code at 1 JS. Let's start some Quokka here. Hop. Thanks. So we have these. I'm gonna put this in a file here. I'm gonna do like code in input txt. Okay, so we need to read a file. Constantly forget how to do this. We need to pull in fs dot read file. Need to help, and it was, what did I call it again? AOC input txt. Oh, there's a read file sync, I think. Okay. Oh, what was the AOC one input? That's a better name. There we go. Why no such file or directory? Can't I do this? Oh no, because it's Quokka, it has to be like it's running in a different directory, so let me just grab this so that I get like an absolute thing. Oh yeah, but I put it in source, right? I think so. There we go, finally. Jesus. Const input. Yeah, so for the people that are wondering what the hell I'm doing, we're doing the Advent first Advent of code experiment, and then we're gonna, like, I have these get these inputs that we're gonna do some data processing on according to a spec. So it's a bunch of numbers here, and I guess that we should just, I think that this is a string, so I can just split this by, I don't know. Nah. Inputs are split. How do you split a string? Don't split string JavaScript. Yeah, I'm a top grader on the JavaScript. No, like, there should be a split. Split is not a function. What is this then? Is it object? What? I think you do something shit like this. Say what the encoding is. Yeah, now I made it. So what is it now then? Type of. Now it's a string. Yeah, I guess you could maybe use toString, but I think it's buffer. toString split. Can you do that as well? Yeah, because the reason it's a buffer, unless you specify the encoding. So if I do buffer, toString split. Yeah, that works too. Let's do that. Like we'll go with slim.hs, because it's more fun to use things that I get from people in chat. So now we have an array now, length. Yeah, cool, of 100 items. So this is now const inputs. There we go. Inputs. And then we are going to, I guess we want some fuels. Fuels. Oh, I don't need that. I think it's gonna, Quokka is going to evaluate and everything. So fuels is going to be, gonna evaluate that there, and gonna take the inputs, and we are going to map them with some function. Calculate fuel, and we're gonna have this function. King Dare, I love how I got him sidetracked now. Right, calculate fuel, and this is gonna be like mass. And let's look at what the spec was. Find the fuel required for a module, take its mass, divide by 3, round down, and subtract 2. Divide by 3, round down, and subtract 2. Forgot it already. Divide by 3. Round down to get, okay, so math.floor. If you notice, I had type worse than I usually do, and it's because I'm learning how to use an American keyboard. So what do we have here? So we have a bunch of values here. 447, 3, okay. This, I'm imagining that this should be correct. Answer. What's the sum of the fuel requirements for all the modules of your spacecraft? Okay, so then we calculate the sum. And I guess fuels, reduce them. Gonna reduce. Does everybody know what reduce is? Reduce is like, let's write reduce like do channel Bob Ross doing reduce. So let's imagine that we have all our fuels here. So like our fuels are a collection of little pieces of ingredients that we want to boil down into a sauce that is our sum. We're gonna take each fuel, we're gonna do something with it, then we're gonna put it into the sauce. So reduce our fuels to sauce that is the sum. And to do that, we're gonna first start with an empty and some like empty state. Like our sum is like just it's the sum is just like their empty little pan, the empty little pot is just a 0. So we begin with that. That's the second argument to reduce. And the first argument to reduce is the reducer. So help. Going to just have a little arrow there, and we're gonna do this with curlies first. Make it a little bit. So each little reducer takes a fuel, I think. Yes. And then we're going to take, oh no, I forget. Reduce takes two arguments. Takes a previous loop, whatever comes from the previous reduction, I think, and it takes the actual objects. Is that right? I think, is that right, chat? The initial value is it TIO of reduce. Ah, yeah, as Plateris says here. Thank you, Plateris. The first value is the accumulator. And then the second value is current value. So what does that mean? It means that on the first time this runs, and reduce is going to run once for every fuel. Run it once for every fuel. And then it's going to get the accumulator for the first run here. And that's going to be 0 for the first run. So imagine here that we have, here we get current value. In the first run here, we're going to get, I can actually, because we have Quokka, I can actually, oops, I can actually take current value here and write it out. We'll see here that this is numbers. But we want to sum them here. So this is simplest reduce. We just say return accumulator, which is 0 in the beginning, and then we plus the current value. It's like, doop. And now for every run, this is going to take the current value and it's going to add it to accumulator, which is our source. And then keep going. See here, see what chat is saying. Underscore Funk says, I'd call the accumulator fuel total. That is such a great suggestion, Underscore Funk. You're such a great person. We're going to do that. Gonna call it fuel total. So for every little loop here, that goes on. So if we look here, if we look at sum, it's going to be a very, very large number. See how big that number is? That's probably that's probably Kaliki says somehow MPROS is a little unsettling to me. I am alright, you don't really know where you have me. RE251 says that yes, and the current value is something like next fuel. So perhaps like current fuel or next fuel? Current fuel. Underscore Frank, or even just fuel or wherever it is. Should read like prose. It's a little interesting. Yeah, maybe fuel. Fuel total, fuel. Yeah, this is pretty nice, isn't it? This looks nice to me. I like this. A happy little reduction, yes. All right, so let's have a look. Gonna copy this here. Can I copy this? How do I do that? There we go. And let's submit this answer and see if it's right. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to rescuing Santa. Continue to part 2. That's so nice. We solved the first advent of code, chat. Thank you so much. Such a good thing. Yeah, we could keep doing this, but I think we're gonna take a little break from advent of code. Robert Table says, this is the chilliest chill stream ever. I'm into it. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, Brilliant. It's really nice that Brilliant have been so long sponsors of the show. I really appreciate Brilliant for being such supporters. They've been through like hard times and good times, and they know to like support channels on the long term. It's really nice. If you don't know what Brilliant is, it's these interactive tutorials. So you sign up for a subscription there, and they have things for like they have tons and tons of courses, but the ones that I tend to push are the math ones and computer science ones. So if you're gearing up for a place where you want to, you know, like having proper computer science knowledge, like all the quick sorty things and like time complexity and stuff like that, they're really great for intensely brushing up on that and really cost effective. And also if you're trying to like go that thing into machine learning and learning and statistics and how AI works, they also have very good like materials on the math behind that. It's just nice to learn that with interactive stuff rather than videos is just not the best way to learn things like that require a lot of repetition and doing things in different ways. So if that is what you're like something that you are into, like go to that link and brilliant.org/fff in the episode description.